Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be playing a Mega Pyro team, a brand new Mega that's just been introduced in the M-B format. And as it's Friday, this is something as we get more content here on this channel. I'm going to try and make it a regular thing on a Friday to do a featured team from a grassroots tournament, an online tournament, or an official event and feature it here on the channel. Today we're starting off with a brand new Mega. It is going to be Mega Pyro, and that's because we had a pretty big new tournament kickoff yesterday in the M-B format, and that was over on Limitless. There was 231 players in total that played in this tournament, and the Mega Pyro came out on top. So big shout out to Snorlax Pikachu 1, who was the player that came out with a 9-1 record to take the tournament. And we can take a look at some of the details here. The Mega Pyro obviously gets a new ability, Fire Main, giving a 50% boost to all of its fire type attacks, so you can stack that with the sun. You can see it's pretty linear, this team, in what it wants to try and do. Just get as much damage on the field as soon as possible to overwhelm the opponent. We've got the Mega Pyro. It's already very fast. It's already going to hit very hard. Timid nature here just to maximize the speed. And then you've got the Whimsicott with the Prankster Tailwind. It's also got Prankster Sunny Day to set up the sun in those really key moments to just boost the damage of Heat Wave and Overheat on the Pyro. You've got Ninetales as well, Cantonia Ninetales with Drought. Now this is this exact same line I was going down with these three, and the Farigiraf, the Basculegion, and Floette are slightly different from my build, but I'm pleased I was on the right lines with these three Pokemon. The nice thing about the Ninetales is it brings that Drought, so you don't need to set up the Sunny Day. It's also going to be Scarfed as well, so it can hit before the Pyro. Take advantage of the all-important fake tears, which lowers the special defense on targets by 2 stages. And then you've got nice fire coverage there as well if you need to, as the Pyro might need to protect its turns, you know. So very good for weather disruption and keeping control. Then you've got the Farigiraf preventing those priority attacks that could be otherwise annoying to deal with. Prankster Encore, Aqua Jets, and Sucker Punches, and the list goes on. But very good at being able to deny Trick Room as well by flipping the dimensions back if it's not favorable for you, but you can also use it to your advantage in those scenarios. But help in hand alongside Twin Beam and then Thunderbolt. Basculegion is going to be Life Orb on this team. Adamant Adaptability, very standard set with Wave Crash, Last Respects, and Aqua Jet. And then rounding the team off with a secondary Mega, which is the Mega Floette. Modest nature, pretty offensive one as well, with no Calm Mind here, just going for pretty much all out offense. So although we don't have all of the details of the team, I have replicated this in game, so we can take it on the ladder. I have made some slight changes though. Well, one slight change, just because I feel like it would be more beneficial. We'll get to that in a minute. Pyro, exactly the same as what we're seeing here. Just maximizing the special attack and speed just to make the most of its base stats. I get more damage as fast as possible. And then we've got the Farigiraf, which we've talked about already. This one's pretty bulky. It has got a bit of special attack investment as well, so you're getting some leverage with the Thunderbolt, the Twin Beam, but primarily going to be using it for the Trick Room, the Helping Hand support, and blocking priority with Armor Tail in a lot of scenarios. Cantonia Ninetales. Now I have went for a timid one here. On the winning team from the Limitless tour was Modest. But the reason I went for timid is because if we hit this 165 speed stat, it means that we can get the jump on Mega Swamp, Adamant Mega Swampards in the rain with the Choice Scarf, meaning that we can Sunny Day. That's another option I've changed from. I think they've got Heat Wave there. So I just feel like there's going to be scenarios where Swampards out. They're going to switch the Pelipper in. If you can then get the sun up before anything can attack, that gets rid of that Swift Swim boost. It means that Pyro can get the Solar Beam into the opposing Swampert before it can attack. I just think that interaction is way more worth it than having just the Heat Wave here. And then that a little bit of extra speed with the timid nature. Probably not going to make that much difference, I don't think. And the value of the interaction with the Sunny Day, I think, just helps out a bunch with that Choice Scarf item there. Solar Beam gives coverage against opposing waters. Overheat's kind of like your nuke if you need to. And then Fake Tear supports the Pyro. Then we've got the Whimsicott. Pretty straightforward with a Focus Sash. Don't really need to talk about much here. It's very standard. The only thing that you would see that isn't so common is the Sunny Day. It helps set that sun up, keep weather control on the field, and support the Pyro. But we've got Tailwind support and Moonblast support as well. Then you've got the Basculegion. Again, I haven't went for anything flashy with the investment on the stats. Just very straightforward. Want to hit as hot as possible, as fast as possible, and take advantage of that life orb that we've got on there. And then the Mega Floette, again, very offensive, modest nature, and wants to hit hard and fast. And I think that's the basic premise of this team. I think it just wants to get damage onto the opposite side of the field, overwhelm your opponents with this damage, and just take games away from your opponents so they can't get any momentum swings while you're playing. So we'll jump onto the ladder and we'll take this team for a run. And I will do a replica code at the end. So we've got the team ready to go. So first team up is a Mega Charizard Y team. It is going to be paired with the Whimsicott, Maushold, the Annihilape, Basculegion, and the Sneasler. Sneasler obviously going to have that fake out disruption that can be a little bit annoying to deal with. I think, though, we could potentially just lead Ninetales Pyro here. Maybe we could go with something like Farigiraf in the back to get around the potential fake out disruption, and then maybe round things off with Basculegion. I think we do lack having our own Tailwind support if we go down that route, but it might be all right, to be honest. We could be okay without it, so I think that's what we'll do. Basculegion and then Farigiraf. It's either Farigiraf or Whimsicott. I just like the idea of being able to kind of constantly keep the pressure on my opponent with the Farigiraf switching, you know? And if they do go Tailwind, I guess we can always go Trick Room and then clean up with like Basculegion. So that is an option, I guess. Let me know. Is this overview that we've got, the layout, fine? Or is it, would you prefer like full screen? Because I can always go back to the Switch too, if it's easier to follow. Okay, so Charizard Whimsicott. Did we just fake tears the Charizard in Heat Wave? I don't know what this Charizard's really going to do in return. I mean, it can weather ball us, but Whimmy's probably going to Tailwind. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Fake tears. Fake tears the Charizard, and then we'll Mega Evolve, and we will Heat Wave. Interested to see if a Heat Wave. I think a Heat Wave -2 will get this Charizard, to be honest. Watch it be Charizard X. Just the wackiest Charizard X team. But it'll be interesting to see the Heat Wave damage onto that as well. See what my opponent just goes for. I imagine they're going to go Tailwind. They're probably going to go either Weather Ball into Pyro to try and get some damage off onto it, or just Heat Wave to spread the damage around. There's the Mega Evolution. I mean, even better if they don't Tailwind here, if they just attack us, but I don't see the Wimmy. Could be also Fake Tears Whimsicott. You never know. If it is, though, I think they lose the Charizard. The trade there is not favorable for them. They need the speed advantage. So, let's see. There's a Tailwind. It's fine. Char will go first, but it's not going to knock anything out. Ooh, it's slower than our Ninetales. Wow, okay. It's a slow Charizard. That's a slow, bulky Charizard. Okay. That's your Heat Wave. This is our Heat Wave. Let's see. Fireman boosted. Jeez, that is nasty. Wow. I think we probably preserve our Ninetales now. We could probably switch. But what are we switching into? Because we could just stay on the field and fake tears again, but it's not super useful. I think we could go Farigiraf and then just go Heat Wave. Heat Wave again. I think that might be a way to just clear the field. My opponent's probably feeling a little bit pressured here as well. Like, trading Mega for Mega isn't too bad. I don't mind that at all. Charizard protecting. Whimsicott going for Elastic Moonblast. Ooh, an Encore. I mean, what were you trying to Encore us into? Into the Fake Tears. Okay. We do have the possibility here where we could potentially just go Protect Trick Room the next turn. I guess the Whimsicott didn't really have too many other options there, where it probably wants to lock us into something. The nice thing is, though, you've got to think, even if the Charizard sticks around, switches out maybe, you know, when it comes back onto the field, it'll always outspeed the Charizard. This Annihilape is not. How many turns of Tailwind have we got left? 2. I don't know if setting the Trick Room up right now is a great idea, to be honest. Now, do I go after the Annihilate, or do we go after the Charizard? I don't think we need to go after the Charizard. I think we just Twin Beam the Annihilate. Probably Protect here. And then the next turn, we can switch out to Ninetales on that last turn of Tailwind. And then we're going to be in a great spot to just pile on a little bit more pressure. We could potentially switch in the Basculegion as well, you know. This Heat Wave should just proc our Citrus Berry. It does. Very nice. And this Twin Beam. Gonna do some good damage to the Annihilate. Not massive, but respectful. It will go down to another one. The leftovers. Probably just out of range, but we can probably Twin Beam it again. And I think you probably do go... You probably do go for the Drain Punch again just to try and get some recovery. Which this could then just catch them out. Yeah, they do go for it. Okay, now we can Aqua Jet the Charizard the next turn. Ooh, Weather Ball coming out. Okay. That was the alternative option. Well, there's their Tailwind gone. So I think we just bring Pyro back in. Sun's still in effect for at least the next turn. We can just get rid of this Annihilate. Do we overheat it? Probably overheat and then just Aqua Jet, I think, into the Char. I mean, overheat's a bit overkill, I feel. The Mousehold. Okay, do they just protect with... Yeah, they just protect. But I mean, I don't think they can get around the next turn where we just go Heat Wave, switch in the Ninetales, and then we just get both of them, you know? Even with Friend Guard, I just don't think they're going to be able to take a Heat Wave with the Annihilate. I'd be very surprised if they can, because what are they, 60? Yeah, I think a Heat Wave will get them. I mean, Annihilate can be bulky, but that is going to be some bulk. I mean, with the Friend Guard as well, right? The Friend Guard definitely helps out, but still, I just think it just clears the field. Oh, they do take it. So they're going to get that Drain Punch off, take down. Ooh, they Rage Fists. I don't know if that was the right play. I think you take down the... I mean, it's pretty difficult either way. Again, that health back would have been very useful, right? Because now the Charizard comes in, you've not really got any speed control, any support for the Annihilate. Pyro just feels so strong here. Because we just Aqua Jet the Charizard. And then, yeah, Heat Wave. Yeah, and there's the forfeit. Good game to my opponent. Pyro gets first game victory, which is great. Okay, so we've got Whimsicott, Farigiraf, Torkoal, Staraptor looks like the Mega, Basculegion, maybe double Mega as well with the Pyro of my opponent, which is going to be interesting. Yeah, Pyro just feels so strong here. I mean, we could go Pyro Whimsicott, or we just go Pyro. They don't have any fake out, that's the thing. Like, they can definitely put the Staraptor ahead of us. So we can Tailwind. No, I think we need, after the Tailwind, we need Farigiraf in the back. Because if we Tailwind Protect, then we're going to be susceptible to On-Call. So we need to be able to switch out and then overheat into the Staraptor. That's the game plan, I guess. And then, do we want Ninetales here just to... Or do we want Basculegion? I mean, we've got Farigiraf, so we should be okay. Staraptor Whimsicott, as we suspected. Yeah, I think we don't necessarily need to protect turn one. Because we could just Tailwind and then overheat into the Staraptor. I'm just not convinced that isn't overheat without the sun going to be enough to pick up the knockout. I feel like overheat's a very strong attack, right? I don't think Mega Staraptor's that bulky either. We just lock in with it and just Tailwind. I think let's try it. We may as well. We need to find out somewhere or another. We outspeed the Staraptor, match the Tailwinds, and this prevents us being in that spot where, I mean, we'll have to switch out the next turn because of the overheat drop. We might not need to though. If we miss the knockout, then Pyro is long gone, and this battle is well and truly over. There's a very high risk, high reward. I mean, that's the thing with Overheat, right? A lot of the time, you're going after these big threats to remove them if you miss. There's our Tailwind. See what this Whimsicott does. No Tailwind. It's just attacking. Is this enough? Okay, there we go. There is a Mega Staraptor counter straight off the cuff. Is it the Wimmy Trick Room? And this would be wild. No, it's just Moonblasting. Oh. That would have been the play, though. That would have been the spice. Trick Room on Wimmy to get around the Tailwind on ours. Okay, Farigiraf coming in. We do need to switch around a little bit now, I think. Could just get some damage onto the opposing Whimsicott. Switch in our own Farigiraf. Or we could switch in Ninetales, to be honest. I mean, they're probably going to Trick Room, so it's probably better to get our own Farigiraf onto the field. So at least we've got the option to reverse the Trick Room. And we can use this time to get the Moonblast into the opposing Whimsicott. We can avoid any on-course shenanigans by bringing our Farigiraf onto the field. And we can reset that drop on the Pyro, which is going to be useful. So, okay, what comes in? Tokol the Sleepy. Incoming Trick Room. Moonblast's useful here, for sure. Especially if we get this special attack drop on it. Just to weaken that eruption. Yeah, we need to reverse this Trick Room. I think, Helping Hand eruption's not the best. Yeah, we reverse the Trick Room, and I think what we'll do is we'll go for another Moon. It's just, we're just sacking Wimmy at this point, to be honest. Yeah. And then it allows Pyro to come back onto the field. Out of Trick Room, ready to just nuke stuff. Because with Helping Hand on our own... Farigiraf, you survived. That Moonblast was crucial, just to weaken that eruption. But now we can see the power of a Helping Hand Heat Wave. I'm just thinking, though, like an eruption Helping Hand wasn't enough to take down our Farigiraf. Is it better that we go just Overheat into the Farigiraf here and then Twin Beam him into the Tokol? Because an Overheat will 100% get this Farigiraf in the sun. I don't think we need the Helping Hand boost to get around that. Just we want to prevent the Trick Room going up again. And the Twin Beam will be nice into the Tokol. We might take an Earth Power onto our Pyro, but we should be able to take it from Tokol if it's got it anyway. You would imagine it probably has. But it might protect as well here. Opponent might try just the Protect Trick Room combo. Ooh, Farigiraf. Okay, that switches out. That's a way to do it. Do they just Protect? This is probably the best play for my opponent. But it doesn't really... I don't mind this too much, actually. The Sash kind of makes this a little bit better. Because now we can switch out to Ninetales. And if it's just if Farigiraf goes down here, that would be bad. No, we're not going to go down. Not after that damage. Yeah, we just about survive. Just about survive. So I think what we'll do is we'll go after the Tokol again, and then we'll switch out to Ninetales. Does the Wimmy go? Well, the Wimmy's not going to go Tailwind here, I don't think. I mean, it's an act of desperation to go Tailwind in this scenario. Tokol's not outspeeding anything. Farigiraf, yeah, it's not going to jump on either our targets. So there goes the Tokol. Farigiraf coming back in. Wimmy just protecting. Huh, okay. Do we Trick Room on their potential Trick Room? Because I think that is the play. My opponent has to go for Trick Room here. So I think we Trick Room. And we also We have to go overheat. My opponent forfeits. Okay. Potentially seeing no win con out. I feel like maybe Heat Wave is better than the overheat on the Ninetales, just for these sort of scenarios where double target there just makes it a bit easier. We would have had to go for the overheat into the Whimsicott, and we've already got the big nuke overheat on the Pyro anyway, so I don't know if we need necessarily both of them. I am going to change that. I feel like Heat Wave probably a bit more optimal, because the thing with how we're using the Ninetales as well, it seems Heat Wave is a little bit better, so we'll go with that. And obviously we've made some tweaks from the original team that did win the tournament, but we don't know the stat investment either, so I think it's fine. Right, we'll do one more. We've got a Raichu, Charizard, Venusaur, then supporting cast of Sylveon, Basculegion, and Whimsicott. Very much a Tailwind team, so we can keep pace with these. I think the biggest threat for us is probably the Venusaur and Sun, which is a little bit awkward to deal with, especially with the sleep powder. Basculegion is also not great. Raichu, do we mind too much? Probably not that much. I think we'll go Whimsicott, we'll go Pyro. I mean, Farigiraf here isn't terrible. It's not really offering that much offensive threat. There is priority. There's potentially Fake Out on the Raichu. There's potentially Quick Attack and Aqua Jet, more importantly. Basculegion. It does help us against the Whimsicott as well. And then do we round things off? Basculegion could be really, really good in the end game, especially if we can get that Venusaur like down to a sash. Then we can bring in the Basculegion, pick it off with the Aqua Jet. Charizard, we know how much it takes from the Heat Wave, especially in the sun, etc. So we have got the Farigiraf in the back, haven't we? So we've got we have got the potential for us to Tailwind, protect. That is a play that we could go for. Or we could just Tailwind and then Heat Wave. The Raichu's likely to Fake Out here though. We'll try and Tailwind. Probably want to try and can't get the jump. I think we're better off just going Moonblast into the Raichu, protecting Pyro here. And see if they are Raichu Y. Because we can't get the jump on them in Tailwind anyway. Which makes going for the Tailwind a little bit tricky. So we need to protect the Pyro, I think, like at all costs. At least we know it's not Mega Charizard Y coming out we have to contend with. So there's the Tailwind. Because next turn we can potentially just Tailwind, switch in. There's a Focus Blast yet. Okay. It's gone straight for that. But the Moonblast should do about 50%, I would say. Or 60. But it's in range to go down this next turn. I mean, now they have to sit up and take note. I mean, they have to double into the Whimsicott now. I don't know if they're going to be able to knock it out in one hit. And then we can just... So, see, if we can get through this next turn with Wimmy surviving, then we can potentially get the Tailwind up after this Raichu's gone. Okay, they're gonna do that. Which is fine, actually. So the next turn, I think we just go Tailwind. And then we Twin Beam into the Raichu. Just to remove it. Because once that's gone, things get a lot easier. And then we've staggered a Tailwind, which helps us out in the long run. And a Twin Beam definitely going to be enough to get this Raichu. Zap Cannon not going to be anywhere near enough to get the Farigiraf. Fortunately, it's just not powerful enough. So there's our Tailwind. They'll probably take down our Whimsicott with theirs. Zap Cannon into our Farigiraf. Worst case scenario is we're like fully paralyzed. Still does a lot of damage, you know, like not to rag on Raichu, but yeah, it does a lot of damage. We get the okay, Wimmy's sticking around. That's great. That's even better for us. Okay. Because yeah, Farigiraf going to be able to take that down, which is great. And now we're going to be able to Farigiraf's a little bit dead weight now. Depends what comes in. Sylveon. Okay. So we just get some last ditch. I think we just break the sash on this opposing Whimsicott. And if we can get an attack off, Maybe get a Twin Beam into the opposing Sylveon. Okay, so they're just protecting. They just want to get a free Hyper Voice off. So we're potentially losing both of our Pokemon here. Yeah. But this just opens the door up for Basculegion to come in with the Pyro. Now the Tailwind does end. It's not the best. Ooh, Life Orb Sylveon. Wow. Yeah, that's nicely played from my opponent. Okay, we've got Basculegion to come in and Pyro. No Sun though. Unfortunately, we probably should have set the Sun up there. Probably not the most optimal way for us to end that. At least Aqua Jet, Heat Wave probably gets the Sylveon here. Yeah, and then if they have to spend a turn going for the Tailwind, so that'll take them down to their Sash. Then we can get the Whimsicott the next turn, depending on what comes in. We got one turn of Tailwind left while theirs is still running. So there might be a way Sylveon protecting because of that. The thing is, though, yeah, they're just delaying the inevitable. I mean, Heatwave takes this Wimmy down to its Sash. Unless that happens, which is super, super frustrating. I still think an Aqua Jet Heatwave gets the Sylveon. That Heat Wave miss. Really, really frustrating. Yeah, I would say Heat Wave from here. Yep. Better if that Whimsicott wasn't sashed. Or it isn't sashed. Okay, there we go. Pyro pulling through. Would have been good if we could have got it last turn, but I guess as well it would have forced something out into the field. And now we've got one more Pokemon left. What is it going to be? Basculegion, maybe? Do they have a Basque? I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, okay. Well, they got to pick their target. Will last respect. And is this Tailwind? We have got no Tailwind, and they've got 2 turns. So they can essentially, yeah, I think they go after our Basculegion here. What we could potentially do is we could Solar Beam. Let's Solar Beam. Because I think they go after our Basculegion. The bigger threat. They don't really worry about the Pyro. Especially not in the sun. Yeah. And what this does is it makes them commit to the Basculegion this next turn, which frees up the Pyro. And then hopefully the Solar Beam puts it in range of an Overheat the next turn. You know? So we could double protect. But I think it's better to last respects in case they cover the Pyro now, thinking that they don't want to waste a turn going into a protect. Yeah, see, there we go. And now we can get them with the Aqua Jet. So that play there kind of forces the opponent. And they're thinking that we're going to go for a double protect here, but we essentially don't. And then we get the win with the Basculegion last respects. So there we go. Good game to my opponent. And yeah, the split the end there. That was good. Okay, so 3 for 3 with Pyro. Very good team. Do like it. Have made a couple of tweaks along the way. Let's get the rental. Again, a big shout out to Snorlax Pikachu. I wish I had their handles and other information that I could provide down below. But I couldn't see any, so taking us up to 1860 there after a few games of practicing with other stuff that took us a little bit lower on our elo. There we are. So Mega Pyro, give it a go. It is a lot of fun. There's a few tweaks I would make. I like the Basculegion. I think you could probably also maybe drop Floette for Sylveon here. I think Sylveon could work because Sylveon in Trick Room with Farigiraf is an option that you could go for. And there's also the plays as well where you can potentially go like Ninetales. You could switch it for Torkoal, so you've got a bit more of a solid Trick Room mode. But I think the concept overall feels very strong. Pyro is just scary in Sun with that Fire main ability. And this one was timid as well. So there's the option if you're relying a little bit more on Tailwind that you could go modest as well with it, which is really, really scary. Remember as well, there's lots you can do with Whimsicott. You could go, instead of going Sunny Day, you could go fake tears there, especially if you change things up with the Ninetales. There's loads you can do with it, but that's the team. They're the stats if you want to take a look. There's nothing too fancy with anything. I'm sure there is a lot of room for tweaking going forward. But if you do try the team, let me know what you think of it. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode though, because this is, like I say, something that I wanted to do. It's just easier on editing. It means I can get more content out and we can feature like really interesting teams that do well in tournaments and things like that. So like I say, I'll try and make it a thing that we do on Fridays. Rest of the week we'll have other teams and other content coming out in Champions on the channel. So keep an eye out for that. And if you missed it, we did put a Mega Staraptor team up yesterday that I put together featuring Mega Staraptor Grimmsnarl. A lot of fun. If you want to check that out, it'll be linked at the end of this video. And I'll see you all in another one very soon, friends. So till then, take care. Bye-bye.